I'm back. The Chelsea flag is down. The Egypt flag is up. The Ghana top is on. The World Cup is truly underway. I'll be covering the World Cup group stages in two parts. So, part one covering Group A, B, C, D, E, F. Part two covering G, H, I, J, K, L. So, hopefully, we can fly through this, right? Get through some of the star players to watch. Some of the expected 11s, won't touch too much on teams like Haiti and Curacao. Apologies, don't mean to be rude. And what I expect the groups to look like by the end of the games, right? So yeah, the last ball of club football was kicked almost 2 weeks ago. And that's it. We're not going to be talking about any club football until pre-season friendlies where Chelsea's playing Malaysia FC or Arsenal's playing Young Boys, something along those lines, right? We don't have to worry. I don't have to stress about my club. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
You aren't showing it.
I'm so happy, believe me. I'm so happy. Happy New Year.
So yeah, let's get into it, straight into it. There's 12 groups, which is absolutely bloody insane. Like, it's insane. 12 groups is ridiculous, but hey, with people making predictions about this will be the most goals scored in a World Cup, I don't know whether people think they're smart and funny. Group A. Group A is Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, Czechia. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know much about South Korea apart from the standout players, Son Heung-min, Lee Kang-in, Kim Min-jae? If those are correct. Kim Min-jae from Bayern, obviously. Lee Kang-in from PSG. And Heung-min Son from, well, he's now playing in the MLS. But yeah, again, you have a few talisman, right? You have a few standout players for South Korea. Mexico being the host of the tournament. This is going to be at Estadio Azteca, which is kind of mad because that's one of the most iconic stadiums in the world, along with the Maracanã in Brazil. But yes, Estadio Azteca is a mad stadium. Google it. Can I put it? Do you know what? I'll put an image of it here, somewhere along here, for you to have a look at. But yeah, Mexico is strong, right? They've got the tournament know-how. It's familiar climate. They're in their host country. Fun fact: they're not leaving for the group stage. Mexico don't leave Mexico, so they stay in Mexico, which I think is an advantage in itself. Good luck to the other teams because it's away soil for them, home soil for Mexico. I mentioned earlier, Korea have some key players that I think are going to be crucial to their push to try and make it through to the knockout stages. South Africa. Look, South Africa for me, Hugo Bruce took them to a semi-final, right? Their manager, an AFCON semi-final, and that's all I know. Maybe their goalkeeper I've heard is a pretty mad not penalty kick, but like he's a pretty good shot stopper. So we'll see how much of a role that plays. And then Czechia, Thomas Souček, West Ham rising for set pieces, and then of course you got Patrick Schick, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Again, he's one of the world's firing nines, but look, the nine breed is dying. So yeah, to put into to conclude, I think Mexico will finish first, Korea will finish second, South Africa will be third, and Czechia, thank you for coming and participating. Group B. Canada, Qatar, Switzerland, Bosnia, and Herzegovina. That's not a separate country. That's the country together. Switzerland, they have Granit Xhaka, who is an invincible, was an absolute force to be reckoned with, and was galvanized Sunderland's season and their campaign within the 25-26 Premier League season. So Granit Xhaka is going to have a role to play. Akanji, multiple Premier League titles won, treble winner, experienced. I'm not sure if he's still at Inter Milan. If he is still at Inter Milan, then he's a Serie A winner. So there's that too. I think he is. He's on loan there, no, if I'm not mistaken. I can't check now. I'm trying to save some time. Got to be quick. Yeah, Canada. So the co-hosts, the Canada, they've got Jesse Marsh, Alfonso Davies, Jonathan David, a few standout players, a few players that could, help carry them. Alfonso Davies is definitely their star player. Like, there's no debate about that. When he came on against PSG, he was actually quite the difference maker. His pace, his ability to get in behind. He is so important to Canada. He might even play wing for them. Bosnia. Apparently, Edin Dzeko is well. It's not apparently. He's definitely 40, but he's still leading the line. Apparently, which is kind of mad. Again, I don't really expect much, but like in the grand scheme of things, right? Qatar, Bosnia. With all respect to Qatar, thank you for hosting an amazing 2022 World Cup. I just don't see you guys doing all that well, and I got a lot of love for Qataris around the world. But yeah, I think it's going to be Switzerland and Canada. So Switzerland first, Canada second, Bosnia third, Qatar likely to be bottom. Sorry again, guys. Group C. This group's exciting. When I was looking at the groups, this one stood out to me. You've got Brazil, coached by Carlo Ancelotti, with players like Vinicius Junior, Casemiro, Cunha, Neymar's come back, Ryan from Bournemouth, a backline of Gabriel and Marquinhos. You have the ingredients there to put together a strong push for a World Cup title. There's a few other teams that have something to say about that, but either way, there is definitely potential for Brazil to do something, right? Morocco are semi-finalists from the 2022 World Cup, surprise semi-finalists, right? They made history as the first African nation to reach a semi-final of a World Cup. And on paper, again, it's up for debate, but officially, according to Wikipedia, they are the AFCON champions. So in terms of international pedigree, they are definitely up there and definitely have a word to say. Achraf Hakimi, who is one of the best fullbacks in the world, arguably the best right back in the world, and is a talisman and an influential figure throughout the team and inspires the team to play a football, a team game, a cohesive game. They also have a coach that recognizes that teamwork makes the dream work. It's not about individual performances, it's about working together. That's what the World Cup primarily is, as opposed to international stars just being put together. It's about these international stars working together as a team and playing to each other's qualities to go far. I believe that's what carried Morocco in the 2022 World Cup. That was the difference maker. They recognize that they have to work together as a team to get to that point and to overcome hurdles like beating Spain, for example. But yeah, me speaking on them says a lot, right? Again, what's funny is I can name, in Scotland's in Group C, I can name more Scottish players than I could Moroccan players. So you have, McGinn, McTominay, Robertson, Billy Gilmore. I don't know if I'm missing anyone else. Adams, you have Adams as well. He plays, and Tierney, who I haven't seen a lot of his game, but like I said, if the narrative I've just said about Group C is anything to go by, Brazil's to finish first, Morocco to finish second, Scotland to finish third, and look, I mentioned Haiti at the very beginning of this segment for Group C. I'm going to mention them again. If you want a fun fact, they are the... Oh no, that's not them. They are... Let's give a bit... so they are back in the World Cup since 1974. That's the first time they've been in the World Cup since 1974. It was before my mum was even born, which is kind of mad. But yeah, Brazil, Morocco, Scotland third, Haiti fourth. Thank you for coming and participating. Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, Turkey. Look, USA, under the guidance of Mauricio Pochettino, you can argue it here or there. Mauricio Pochettino is still a quality manager, in some regard as one of the best managers to, challenge on a title front, yield the best results from what he's got. Obviously, Chelsea finish in 6th place under Mauricio Pochettino and got the best out of Cole Palmer. He hasn't played as well since. It should be a testament to his ability as a manager. They have, their star players and their talismans as well, such as Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, is it Tyler Adams as well. So you have that Premier League, Serie A pedigree to sort of help them in their push within the group. Turkey or Turkey, however you want to say it, interchangeable. They themselves are ones to watch. They're dark horses, and I use that term dark horse in the capacity of they will get further than we expect them to, and whether it's as a result of cohesion or it's a result of their own star players such as Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Arda Güler, Kenan Yildiz, right? So these Arda Güler's been a breakout star for Real Madrid. Xabi Alonso recognizes talents and versatility and has utilized that to help him gain a place within the team. You also have Kenan Yildiz, who the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea are watching very closely. Again, that celebration he does is cold though. Something like that. I'm not even doing it right. It's like that star celebration. It's like anyway. And Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who won the Serie A of Inter Milan, right? So you have those talismans to help them. Who else is in there? Paraguay. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I only know Brighton's and Ciso from Paraguay. And is it Miguel Almiron? Miguel Almiron is Paraguayan? Again, from the narrative I've spoken about, you can see where I'm going with this, right? I've spoken USA at length, Turkey at length. You can have a prediction, right? Australia's also in this. Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan's the only player I actually recognize, and that's not going to be enough. He's a goalkeeper. It's not going to be enough to carry them through. So, with that being said, USA first, Turkey second, Paraguay third, and Australia last. Again, thank you for coming, but hey ho. Group E. Group E is Germany, Curacao. I'm going to say it's Curacao, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, however you say it. Germany are clear favourites. Germany are, managed and under the watchful eye of Nagelsmann, who Man United were linked with, a testament to his talents and a testament to his ability as a manager, especially his time at Bayern. They have the likes of Florian Wirtz, who hasn't had a very good season or very lackluster season in the Premier League, but at the end of the day, we know what his talents are, and we know his ability. Florian Wirtz, Jamal Musiala, we've got Volta Made, who's actually had quite a disappointing season due to his Eddie Howe's own mind of him saying, let me play you in a 10, let me play you in a 9, let me play you in 10, let me accommodate to Gordon. Gordon's pissing me off. Now let me, you can play a 9 again. But I think in an environment where Voldemade is a lot more comfortable and an environment that's more accommodating to him, he'll be able to perform and he'll be able to stand out and show the same talents that he displayed at the very beginning of the season with Newcastle, right? So look, Germany is a standout. I mean, look at the names that I'm going to mention. Goretzka, who has experience. Pavlovic, who's had an insane season with Bayern Munich. Jonathan Tah, Schlotterbeck, who's being chased and linked with the likes of Real Madrid and Chelsea. Neuer in net. The guy's 40 years old. He's still in, I don't know. And Joshua Kimmich. Again, a favourite player of mine. So look, the quality is there. They're a favourite. Côte d'Ivoire, you have Fofana, Diomande, Diallo, Sangare, Haller as well, Adingra from Brighton. So they themselves have a lot of standout players, a lot of names that are recognised. I expect them to make a decent push. But there's a team that I haven't mentioned yet, and that's Ecuador. So Ecuador obviously have their two standout players being Moises Caicedo and Hincapié. You have a few names for Ecuador like Estupiñán, who's had a decent season for his AC Milan. And then you've got Kendry Páez, who is supposed to be like a standout star for Chelsea, but it hasn't quite worked out with him with his loan. But yeah, they've only conceded 5 goals since last year September. I think that's the stat I heard. So just from a defensive standpoint, yeah, and there's actually a name I've forgotten to mention, which is William Pacho, back-to-back Champions League winner. So William Pacho, Hincapie, Estupiñán, Caicedo. It's like it's a wall. Like you have to get past that wall. Germany's favourites, I think Ecuador will finish second purely because of their defensive capabilities. Cote d'Ivoire third, and Curacao, like, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I read something here that they are the smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup. An island of 150,000 people, coached by a 78-year-old get ready for this name, Dick Advocaat. I know a few Dick Advocaats out there. I had to say it. I'm sorry. Like I had to say it. It's funny. I had to say it. So yeah, Germany, Ecuador, Cote d'Ivoire, Curacao. Group F is Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia, Sweden. I mean, like, Netherlands speaks for itself. You've got Van Dijk, Gravenberch, De Jong, Frimpong. Who else you got in there? Reinders, Ake, Verbruggen. I mean, it's not a big name, but like it's still of Premier League quality in net. I don't even want to mention Gakpo. The less said, that's better. But anyway, just from the standpoint of Netherlands having so many superstars, I can only see them finishing first. Japan as a unit, I remember they stifled and shocked England in the friendly. From the perspective of just them being super organized, well drilled, organized, pressed together, set their positions well, followed the coach's order, very much adherent to sort of Japanese culture in terms of discipline and organization, right? It makes sense. So again, that's another dark horse I would look at. Again, not as a dark horse to get far into the competition, but a dark horse to get further than we expect. Sweden's, look, the three standout stars, I think, for Sweden, that being Isak, Gyökeres, Bergvall. I love Bergvall. Bergvall's an insane, talented, I think he's 19 years old. He's an insane, talented teenager. Gyökeres, who scored 21 or 20 goals in all competitions. And Isak, who we know whose quality has been there on paper for a number of years now, but he hasn't quite, or no, not quite. He just hasn't hit the ground running for Liverpool. Record signing for Liverpool. We know what his quality is. We know what his ability is. We know what he's capable of. But again, I'm going to give you my prediction, and I'm going to say from now that it's going to be Netherlands first, Japan second, Sweden third, and I mentioned Tunisia. Tunisia, you've got Hannibal from Burnley, but I mean, that's about it, really. The quality of Netherlands is too much. The organisation of Japan is there, and then the two strikers that should be firing are going to be there too. With that being said, Sweden are third purely because Gyökeres isn't firing as he should be, and Isak just hasn't played enough football, although he scored an absolute banger the other day. But yeah, that's how I think the group will finish. So yeah, that's it. A, B, C, D, E, and F are covered, right? That's the end of part 1. We've covered those groups. Now I'm going to move on to part 2. But while you're here, while I've got you in this position here, I need you to like, subscribe, comment. I'm going to beg. It's going to say to you it's free and it takes a few clicks, right? You got a bit of an insight onto these groups, see where they finish. And then obviously there's the graphics that you'll be seeing along with the video and the timestamps too, on who I expect to be a star player, expected 11, a player to watch, and then obviously the groups that you can see visually too. But if you enjoyed this video, like I said, like, comment, you know what, like it, but also comment below which team you think is going to be the best out of all the teams that I mentioned. I'm probably going to go ahead and say Brazil. And if there were any players that I missed out, is there a player that I should have mentioned Is there a standout star from your own team that you think is going to change the World Cup? And every World Cup usually has that player whose transfer value triples after the World Cup. Enzo Fernandez. So who do you think that player is going to be? Just for this 6 groups here, part 2, I'll also be asking the same questions. But thank you for watching. Bye-bye.